Welcome back to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City Book Company production.
I almost said a Sam and Matt podcast. I don't know
we
why, it just came to
should
me.
we should just do that. A Sam and Matt podcast.
So what's up, Sam?
Not much. We're here. I finally got like a new space set up, so for all intents and purposes, this is where I'll be recording for the time being.
It looks exactly the same as the old one.
I know.
It looks like Mars.
But it's not.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, let's see what's happened since we last recorded. Um.
FIFA.
Oh yeah, that's true. Are you keeping up with it?
No. I wish I
Hmm.
was. Because I see everybody's reactions to everything. I'm like, man, y'all look like y'all are having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My enjoyment of the World Cup is usually when I'm surrounded by people
Yeah.
who are enjoying the World Cup, and I'm just not surrounded by people enjoying the World Cup. The
Yeah.
last one, oh, maybe it wasn't the last one because what? It's every 4 years?
And yes.
Okay, so it wasn't the last one. The one before that, I think I had more fun with because more coworkers, you know,
Mm.
at the old bookstore, uh,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
were
that's
into
right.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, not so much this one.
Mm.
And my staff at the warehouse don't really care.
Isn't it just you?
Yeah, it's just me.
Yeah.
So I kind of watch the highlights and I enjoy watching everyone else enjoy it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
where I'm
I'm
at.
enjoying watching all the tourist videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, man, it feels like there's a lot of events this year that are kind of bringing people together, you know, which I feel like is we really really needed. So
Hmm.
this and then Artemis 2 and well, I was gonna say the playoffs. The Spurs lost the playoffs since the last time we were recorded.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but you know what? I mean, it's hard not to give it up for the Knicks. That was an incredible series.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, the series wasn't close at all, but every single game was a damn good game, and I was like, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So kudos for the Lakers. You know, I love New York.
The Knicks.
What did I say?
The Lakers.
Oh my God, I'm gonna get shot.
Jeez.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
get
I was like,
shot.
I gotta step in real quick.
I
Be like, Matthew.
specifically, when I was living in LA, I would go watch some of the games at the bar, but I wouldn't let my feelings be known because I knew I was gonna get stabbed. Even when I
Mm.
was at Barnes and Noble, there was like a little bar in the farmers market I could run
Mm.
to, and I would go eat lunch while the series was playing, Spurs against Lakers, and I would just keep quiet so I don't get stabbed. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that.
Yeah.
Freudian slip? Not really, because
Hey,
I was
I don't know.
thinking of New York when I said it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
it's probably like you're thinking of your time in New York when you said it, but then flash back to you watching, the Lakers versus Spurs, back in
yeah, it's like
LA.
calling an ex-girlfriend the wrong ex-girlfriend's name.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
uh the Knicks, New York City. I know where places are. Uh you know, good for them. It's cool to see everyone in the world kind of just celebrating them, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, Spurs will have their time. This is like if they play their cards right, like this team, this could be the start of like a new dynasty, you know, something that's going to last a while.
Yeah.
So, so here's hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, yeah, same. So we'll see. Let me see. News. Winnie the Pooh is coming to Disney Dreamlight Valley. So I'm gonna have to boot that up again. Other than that, I kind of wanted to mention this. It's really not. Oh, well, it might be relevant to this movie we're talking about today.
Okay.
But I've been watching Katie Sackhoff is doing. She's watching Battlestar Galactica for the first time,
Oh, yeah.
and so she's watching it with her husband, and who is like I want to say 5 to 10 years younger. I'm like, good for you,
Okay.
man. Yeah, I'm just saying that's not something you see too often in Hollywood where the guy's the younger one. I was like, all right, you two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. All
living my
right.
dreams, living my dreams. Uh, but
Jeez.
anyway, that's not the point. They're watching it, and so a lot of Katie Sackhoff has been popping up in my algorithm, and same thing with Trisha Helfer because she was a guest star, and she had her own podcast. Remember? I think it
Oh,
was
yeah,
during
yeah.
COVID. Her and Mark Bernardin, is that his name?
Yeah, yeah. Her and
Yeah,
Mark Bernardin. Yeah.
they're watching Battlestar.
Yeah.
Well, I saw so many clips. I don't remember who it was. It was either Trisha Helfer or Katie Sackhoff, but they were saying that apparently, I didn't know this. Ronald D. Moore holds a little more sway than I thought when it comes to Battlestar
Hmm.
because there's been talks of rebooting the show again for years now.
Okay.
And they approached Ronald D. Moore and I don't know if they were just looking for his blessing or what, but they kind of it sounded like they needed his permission. And
Ooh.
the first
Okay.
time he kind of just said, "Nah, nah." He's like, I'm staying away from that. I don't really care, you know." And this was like 10 years after they started, you know.
Hmm.
He's like, we did our thing, whatever, you know. But now it's like 20 years since the miniseries, longer. And apparently they went to Ronald D. Moore about doing a reboot, and he said, "Sure, you know, you do it, but I have one stipulation." That stipulation was that they cannot have human Cylons.
Hmm. Interesting.
So now the question is, everyone's like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. That's like Battlestar's thing. And I'm like, well, that was unique to the reboot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So going forward, any Battlestar Galactica reboot would have to be more based off the original, all
Interesting.
robots.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the theory they kind of brought up is like that might be the main reason the reboots keep like failing before they even get started.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'm like that's pretty rad though because it's like, yeah, this was our thing, you know?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't personally I don't want to reboot, you know? I think it's perfect."
Yeah.
Like,
Same here. It's one of those things where it's like, it's like when there was talk about remaking The Crow, like back in
yeah.
like the mid 2000s or like 2010
Mhm.
era, you know. Um and we eventually got another one, that was like an actual remake.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, it's like it just feels like one of those things where it's like it's too soon, guys. Like it's like it feels like it's too
Mm.
soon to do it because what would you really be bringing that
Mhm.
feels different, that feels fresh? The thing that made Battlestar a success partly was because it was so far removed from
Yeah.
its counterpart, from its predecessor, like
Mhm.
the original is very much of its era.
Mhm.
It's good, it's fun. It
Mhm.
feels like a Star Wars kind of knockoff, which it kind of
Mhm.
was, but it was able to
Yeah.
craft its own lore and do its own thing, and still today has a very dedicated fan base. So it's like the fact that the newer one was so successful, is in part because it strayed so far from its roots. It's like, what
Right.
would you be doing now? Like what would you be
Mhm.
doing now that, is so different or so far removed from the when did it come out? Like 2020 or 2003?
4. I think.
4?
Oh,
Yeah, like what would you be doing that,
that's a good
that's so
question. It might
different?
be
Yeah.
'03. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really not too sure. But like because we're living in the moment, you know, so like I don't know what the how do I say this? I feel like the world has changed so much in the last 20 years. How do you address that in this show? Do
Hmm.
you even address it? You know, like I don't know. How do you do it without being preachy about it, you know? A lot
Hmm.
of the things that we're dealing with right now, we were dealing with in the Battlestar reboot, you know?
Yeah.
So it's so I really don't know. I'm curious to see how they would do it,
Hmm.
but I don't know.
I like it could you could, theoretically take a I don't know. It feels weird to say that you could take a harder stance on like, like anti-AI,
Hmm.
because that feels very topical. So that feels like, and
Yeah.
Battlestar does feel like you could tackle that. But I also feel like, just like you said, we they were already dealing with that. The fact that the Cylons
Yeah.
have crafted their own
I just
persona and culture and it looks human based. It's like, yeah, like that
I don't
feels.
I don't I never watched the original Battlestar, so I don't really
Mhm,
know what that like the major differences, you know?
mhm.
So
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of it, but it's like a straight up like space opera, they're
well,
aliens,
yeah, yeah, I know
they got a
that.
robot dog
But
who's
I'm
like a
kind of
part of the
curious, like,
family.
could like it kind of seems like that's the only way to go. You go more sci-fi because Battlestar, although very science fiction, was a very gritty kind of grounded science fiction.
Hmm.
Like this
Hmm.
is real, you know,
Hmm.
real problems. Everyone it's kind of a meme at this point. People kind of just make fun of it because it's always used to describe it. But like, this was a major post 9/11 show, and it
Yeah.
feels like it, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And when it came out, the we were all feeling it, you know. This was straight up. This was during post 9/11, everything with Iraq, Bush Jr., you know.
Hmm.
Anthrax in the mailbox,
Hmm.
like that was our world. So it was a sci-fi show for a world on edge.
Hmm.
Well, guess what? We're still on edge, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It,
So
it like
I don't
even
know.
more so, I would argue we're on edge,
You
you
know, I
know?
mean, one way I would take it to kind of get into the point of this episode, maybe go a more bright and sunny route, kind of like Mars Express, you know? Um, what
Do you
kind what
think do you think Mars Express is
I
more bright and
that's
sunny?
let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Everyone, we're watching or we're talking about what year was this? I don't even
I believe it's 2023. Yeah, 2023.
I don't have my notes up. I don't have my notes up.
I do.
Right.
2023's Mars Express, a French sci-fi animated film from director Jeremy Perrin.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, here's the thing. One thing that I really I love this whole movie. I had a blast watching it.
same.
Um
Yeah.
but one thing that I really like was like this is cyberpunk, but it's not like all the cyberpunk stuff we've seen, you know?
Hmm.
For some reason, it almost feels like a requirement now that cyberpunk has to be infused with like Japanese culture, you know?
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
And there's not any of that here. I think there's maybe a little bit, but so
Hmm.
I think that's one thing. This isn't Blade Runner, you know? This isn't it kind of feels like a noir, but not aesthetically. You know,
Yeah.
it isn't all dark and grimy and everyone's living in this dark city. Uh no, like it's bright, it's sunny. And I think that's kind of where the creepiness comes into it. It's like it's just below the surface. And I think that's a lot more relatable, especially to us right now in the
Yeah.
modern day. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like this last 10 years has kind of been I think a more I don't know what you want to call it, society is kind of waking up to the
We
idea
live
of
in a
like
society.
yeah, it's kind of waking up to this idea of that, like, oh, there aren't these super villain monsters out there. You know, there's not
Mm,
these huge crazy ideas, especially again, Battlestar coming off of the early 2000s. You know, our ideas of the bad guys were terrorists.
hmm.
What is that definition of a terrorist? It was usually whatever the American government was telling us, you
Yeah.
know? So there's a lot of Middle Eastern terrorists on TV and in movies, you know?
Hmm.
That was kind of everyone's thoughts. And that hasn't really changed, but now we're kind of waking up and seeing more and more. It's like, oh, now it's more the elite. It's more of the billionaires and the trillionaires now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what kind of makes it more creepy in this movie is that it's like, oh man, like all that horror and ugliness and nastiness is still there. It's just kind of under a layer of icing, you know, on the
Hmm.
cake. Like, yeah, it's just a poop cake.
Ew. Don't
Yep.
no, don't ruin cake for me. Don't do that.
Sorry, too late.
No. No, I hate
Yep.
it.
But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that could be a route you go with Battlestar. I'm just saying, you know,
Mm,
since we're on the topic. But
yeah.
yeah. If I have kind of one complaint about Mars Express, it's kind of I wanted to see more of that, like hidden. Like I guess my one complaint is this movie was too short. It was like 90 minutes exactly. I'm like, I wanted more. I wanted to see more of the world, you know?
Yeah.
This is like the opening scene really sets it up like, oh, this is a scary world. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, holy crap. I mean, they straight up lifted the villain from T2. I was like, oh, okay. All right. But
Yeah, in some ways, yeah.
but in some ways, Sam, you got the freaking spike, the liquid to metal spike arm.
Well,
Shit.
one, there was multiple of them, and then two, it's
Yeah.
like they're sort of the minor antagonists, because the overall antagonist
Right.
is, the spoiler alert, but
Capitalism.
yeah, capitalism. It's always the enemy. It's always the bad
Hmm.
guy. But yeah, I do see what you're saying. The
Yeah.
fact that they're even like impersonating cops. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, my point is that opening scene just really set the tone for the whole movie. It's like, oh,
yeah.
um, especially a movie that's like this gorgeous. It's very colorful, you know, very bright.
Hmm.
Um, I really, yeah, man, I dug it. Even like the dark, seedier moments, like it all looks very pretty to look at. I was like,
It
oh man,
it was a little bit of like a head trip when because you're right, like this is sort of like a noir but without the aesthetic. um I would kind of argue it feels more like a cop story
hmm,
because and we can get into that distinction, but like this feels more like a cop story.
sure,
But I do agree that like it does start off with like the central mystery.
yeah,
And yeah, like you're just not expecting to like, oh hey, some of the places where we have to go to are like kind of like the suburb, or at least
hmm,
like towards the end, like the police station is just like it's fully like sunny outside, you
hmm,
know, and it just feels so like it feels so weird that like there's all this chaos happening and it's like bright and sunny, like
hmm,
you tend to think of something happening like at night, it's very dramatic and the only lights in the sky are the explosions going on. It's like no,
hmm,
like this partial revolution is happening in broad daylight, at
yeah,
kind of like at quitting time, when everybody's
hmm,
supposed to be going home. And
yeah.
yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's something like I've never seen Midsummer, but I just love that concept of a horror movie during the day,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm.
Um,
They do, I mean, like, yeah, they also do that in uh a little bit in like the first Friday the 13th, but there are
mm,
a lot of stuff that happens, if you ever have a horror movie set at a summer camp, most of the kills are going to take place like during the day, you know,
hmm.
which is also a creepy thing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was very it's just one of those subtle little decisions that the filmmakers made. Like, hey, let's set this big apocalyptic event during the daytime. I was like, wow, that's cool. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. Um, but yeah, again, it goes to the whole vibes. Like, I see what you're saying. Like, this isn't really noir. I just brought up noir because that's what Blade Runner is.
Hmm.
Futuristic cyberpunk noir. This
Hmm.
is more definitely like it feels like a procedural. Like this is two cops just doing their job,
Hmm.
and it kind of has some of those procedural beats. You know,
Hmm.
if you've watched any cop drama on TV, it kind of hits those same beats, and
Yeah.
I think that's where some of the fun is. You know, I like switching it up. You know, like
Hmm.
okay, all right, yeah,
Yeah, I saw a lot of people describing this as like the French Ghost in the Shell,
mm,
which is, like that is, yeah, that is definitely like fully cyberpunk, fully
mm-hmm,
cop, like all this stuff, but that's Japanese, so like they're in Neo Tokyo or something like that.
sure.
And yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I kind of wanted to know more about this. Like what does because it like we see a little bit of turmoil on Earth because we see everyone protesting, you know, because
Hmm.
they don't have jobs, you know. But like here in the city that most of this movie takes place in, things kind of seem chill.
Hmm.
Like people are just living their lives. I'm like, that's interesting. I kind of wonder like what the rest of like this world or this universe looks like, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they kind of briefly mentioned like other colonies,
Hmm.
kind of towards the end. And then like at the end we saw the other like ships from the moon and then Earth like going up to
Hmm.
join, like the Mars Express stations.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like this is fascinating. There were so many times, there were so many points at this movie where I was like, this feels like this feels like an episode or like part of an episode of like an animated series, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, like the way you said, it's like it's a procedural, it's like they're
Hmm.
just two cops, going on the
Hmm.
beat solving another case, and it's like, well, and this case just so happens to be the one that's like we stumbled upon an apocalyptic event, that's about to happen. um yeah, like I don't know, like I would have said I would have said that like I would love to see more of these characters, and more of their
Yeah.
stories. Um, but that's not necessarily the route that the movie takes, but it would
Hmm.
still be fascinating if we did get some kind of sequel or something,
Yeah, even
because
if
then
it's
it would
not the
change
same
like
characters,
yeah, yeah.
but I feel like the character of Carlos makes like the perfect viewpoint for a sequel, you know, like
Yeah.
because he's like the odd man out, you know,
Hmm.
in that scenario with all the other robots and AI. So I'm like, huh.
Hmm.
But I I really dug the ending. I was surprised. I thought that maybe we would try and bring back what's her name? Aileen?
Yeah, yeah, Aileen.
Uh, Aileen. I'm surprised like we didn't try to bring her back.
Yeah.
What are they called? Just backups?
Yeah. Well,
I forgot. Like they say it at some point.
they say it here. Like the thing about this movie is that it doesn't stop to tell you like, hey, this is what this person is. Hey, this is
Hmm.
what this thing is happening. Like they really do just like put the stuff like in like the world building within the dialogue of the scene. It's just like how
Yeah.
illegal it is to have a double, to have a backup while you're still
While you're
alive.
still
Like,
alive, yeah.
oh, okay,
And
like
that's what
so
I
that's
appreciate about
illegal.
this. Like they really just they just throw you in, you know? There's not a lot of exposition or anything. They just throw you into this world.
Hmm.
Again, like you say, it's just another day on the job for these cops. And it's like, okay, the audience is just meant to keep up. And I really appreciate that, you
Yeah.
know? Like I'm like, okay, all right. And yeah. But yeah, I was kind of surprised that Carlos didn't try. I don't know like how you would do that. What's the procedure?
Hmm.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I thought that's what was gonna happen.
Well, he there's no way to because Aileen's human.
Yeah, but the, all the backups are human originally,
Well,
right?
no, like the original is human. The backup is a synthetic, is a robot. It's
Yeah.
like what the girl is in the student.
Well, yeah, but like Carlos was a living, breathing human at one point until he gets killed.
Yeah.
So that's why they even have the support group. And I'm like, oh, I thought that's where the movie was going, that like he was gonna try and bring her back some way,
Mm.
but nope, story's over. I give up. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what that like where that would have gone. Also, I guess the thing is we don't know how difficult it is to bring someone back like that.
Yeah.
Like because we literally, sorry, we have no in-universe rules of how that's done. We never see that process.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like if at some point she does something like she puts the helmet on and she does the whatever in that place, and he's like, "Oh, I have a backup of her from like 2 days ago,"
Oh,
because
yeah,
it
yeah.
saved, something like that. Like I don't know. They could have done it, but that's obviously what they just didn't want to do that. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
I think, to that end, it's like, well, because it becomes about something else, you know. Um,
yeah, yeah,
like, I don't know. And like it might just end up being like the difference between, American storytelling versus,
sure.
the way they're telling the story. Um, because it does it does end somber, but it's also it it's hopeful, like there is a sort of hopeful ending, at least for like the for the robots, because
Hmm.
they're all off, they're all off away from the exploitation of their masters, essentially.
Yeah.
It does put in, like, hey, like we did leave human society kind of in disarray, but it was already sort of in disarray to
Yeah.
begin with. We're just completely uprooting the system, or
But
upending
Carlos
the
has that
system.
whole conversation at the very end with Beryl, I think.
Yeah.
That's her name. And she's like, but this is what they wanted. They wanted us to leave. How are you gonna survive the radiation and all that stuff?
Hmm.
And she's like, just trust me. And I'm like, oh, I did not have a hopeful ending, a hopeful
Mm.
feeling for that ending at all. I thought it's cool. I thought like, oh, that's interesting. How many sci-fi stories are told where like, oh, the robots split from humanity,
Hmm.
centuries ago, and we haven't seen them since, like Battlestar.
Hmm.
Uh, something like that. So I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool that we're seeing that story finally from the beginning, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, but I don't know. Like, I hope it works out for them. I
I
hope they're
mean,
happy.
but that's, I don't necessarily see that as any different from, the journey of any explorer, that has gone on that journey, to find
Sure.
a new, a new land, quote unquote,
Yeah.
not to sing the praises of any like colonialists or anything like that, but it's like,
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
that is like that was the point for a lot of these people, like when people were leaving
Mm-hmm.
England, they were leaving for religious persecution, and
Sure.
they didn't know if they were going to survive the journey. Most of them didn't.
Yeah.
um so
These.
like so it is that, like, it is kind of that same thing where it's just like, well, yeah, like this is sad that this is happening. Probably not all of these programs are going to survive,
Mm-hmm.
but the ones that do get to build anew, and get to live away
Mm-hmm.
from, their masters and capitalism.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Still somber,
Oh,
still like,
very,
yeah, yeah,
very.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, it's definitely like they play that song at the end and it's like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, this movie's rad as hell, but like
Mm-hmm.
it isn't, you're listening to the words and you're like, oh yeah, no, like this isn't exactly a happy ending. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Man. Wild. Wow. Yeah. Um. But dude, I dug it. I dug the action scenes. I love the technology in this.
Hmm.
I was kind of a little torn about the whole communicating via the brain, the mind link or whatever.
Mm, yeah,
It was
yeah.
just like I was like, oh, it's just one of those things where like realistically in this movie with this world and this technology, it makes sense. But to me, it doesn't really. It's not cinematic, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some moments in this movie where like, okay, that's kind of cool. I like in the very beginning where they establish it,
Hmm.
where they're scanning Aileen's eye, and then Carlos is just to the side, and she's like, "Hurry up, hurry up." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." But for the
Hmm.
majority of it, I'm just like, "Oh, okay." It's kind of to me, it felt like narration in a movie where you don't need narration. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
And I know these characters are animated, but the animation was great, you know? It's
Hmm.
kind of like again narrating over an actor's performance. I'm like, "No, let the actor tell me."
Yeah.
Either with actual words or just through emoting. So it's just I felt like those are one of the that was pretty much like the only thing that kind of took me out of the movie. I'm just like, this isn't cinematic, you know? Not
I
every space movie has to explain how everyone can walk in zero G. It's a sci-fi. Just accept it, you know?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
that's kind of this. I think it would have been smarter if they just do what they classically do in all movies. They just touch their ear or whatever,
Hmm.
you know?
I think that's
So,
probably why they didn't want to do it though, because that means I now have to animate somebody touching their ear, you know? And if we're at
oh
this
yeah.
level of technology, you
Hmm.
know, where we can fully duplicate human beings into other
Yeah.
bodies, like why would I need to? You know,
Yeah.
it was kind of the thing. It's sort of a little throwaway, but when Aileen's drunk at the bar, cool name for a
Hmm.
bar, by the way, the end.
Hmm.
Um, you know, and she's stumbling out of the entrance to talk to Beryl. There's a guy in the foreground who's like trying to talk to his mom on his like
Mm.
his communication device.
Hmm.
And he's like, "Hang on, I think it's on my end. I think it's on my end." He takes it off and he like flicks it, and we see it's one
Hmm.
of those like organic tech
Hmm.
things, biotech things. Um, and I liked that, you know, because it's like, well, yeah, like we're saying that this is the next thing. This is the
Right.
new thing, bioorganics.
Hmm.
Uh, and the technology's still crap. You know, it still doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it is kind of the thing where it's like when you're in a society of people who can communicate with their brains and they
Hmm.
don't need a phone, they don't need to have like a Palm Pilot embedded in their arm, like
Hmm.
why would you still need something to do a communication on your,
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
um
mean, for sure.
yeah, it
It's
did like it took me a minute to attune to it, you know, like because they have the fight scene in the beginning and like, oh, okay, we established this is how we do it. But when they got back to Mars and
hmm.
Aileen's having the conversation with Beryl at the beginning, trying to get a hold of what's his name, Roy Jacker,
Hmm.
um, it's like, oh, I cinematically, I'm looking at the scene and it's like, okay, it's just Aileen and Carlos walking down the hall, like, you know, coming out of the elevator, going to the door.
Hmm.
And in my head, I'm trying to make the logical jump of like, oh, this is a conversation she's having with somebody else, like that, you know, we'll see that she's on the phone when they make the cut. You know, when
Hmm.
they do the cut, you know, to her in the office, like whatever, like we'll see she's on the phone or hang up or whatever. And then no, like they're fully having the conversation, like he's in your office right now, you know, blah blah blah. And then he opens the door and there's the screen of Roy Jacker. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. Like so
Yeah.
that took me a minute to figure out. So it's like, yeah, I get I I'm not knocking what you're saying at all. It's like, yeah,
Hmm.
like it there's a way to do it. I liked when she's at the crime scene in the
Hmm.
old Mars colony
Hmm.
and she tells one of the officers like, "Hey, like I want to know what's funny." He's like, "Oh, let me share the group with you." And we just see like little
Like chat,
avatars,
like
yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
chat like pop up like on the side of the screen. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like if they did
Hmm.
more of that, I think that would be cool. That was the thing that I saw a couple of people say when I was looking at reviews, they were like it's beautifully animated. This is a beautiful
Mm,
movie, but take it doesn't necessarily like take any like risks in
mm,
its animation. It doesn't
mm,
like fully lend itself to the medium, you know?
mm.
Because at the beginning too, I was kind of thinking that I'm like this would be really cool to do in live action. Like I'm glad it's
Yeah,
animated, but
yeah, it would be.
I'm struggling to figure out why this is animated.
Mm,
Like, and I'm not just from like a cinematic perspective, like there's nothing that I saw that really told me that like this could only be done as an animated movie, you
right.
know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it probably
yeah.
just comes down to budget, but you know,
Right,
how expensive is it to animate a 2D and 3D animated movie nowadays as opposed to just we'll
right.
throw some green screen up, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point. I think especially like this would be a CGI heavy movie.
For sure.
Um, Most of it is, stuff like Carlos,
Yeah.
you have to do this whole performance CG, you could
Yeah.
probably have someone actually doing the body, you know.
Hmm.
You can even have the actor do it, but
Hmm.
like you're still going to have to do like a hologram thing of his head and all that stuff.
Hmm.
So, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess I can see what they were talking about a little bit, but for the most part, like I was fine with it. The whole time I was
Hmm.
thinking too, I was like, yeah, this would be so cool as a live action, you
Yeah.
know, um, especially with the things they could come up with now. So, but yeah, man, I don't know, solid. I really enjoyed it, really liked it.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. What else is there to say? Like I hate when this happens. When you really like the movie, you kind of like, yeah, I liked it. Okay, now what do we talk about? If I had a lot to complain about, that's all I would talk about.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
no, I liked it. I hmm, trying to be positive because it's all positive. But I was gonna say I was disappointed that like Carlos got jailbroke by that hacker. And I think this is where the procedural cop kind of, I guess, let me down a little bit because
Hmm.
although it feels like just another case, it's not. It's the last case, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And like I really wanted that to be like Aileen's choice. Like she's the one who gets him jailbroke. I thought that's where we were leading because that whole first scene, that action scene, I'm like, oh, okay. They're the
Mm.
cops. They're going after her because she's like the hacker. I'm like, and I'm thinking, which kind of does happen, they're the ones who are going to go on the run and have to. I didn't know how much this hacker is going to be in the movie, but I liked
Hmm.
her character. I liked the voice acting. I'm like, I hope she comes back, and she
Yeah.
does.
And she does.
Yeah, but yeah, so I was thinking, oh, that's going to be interesting. Aileen's the one who's going to like jailbreak her partner. How cool would that be? And no, it kind of does it himself with the hacker off screen. It was a great reveal,
Yeah.
but I guess I was missing the that connection between Aileen and Carlos. I really wanted to see more of that.
Yeah.
Especially because apparently they were partners before he was a robot.
They were like war buddies. They're like
Yeah.
soldiers together.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I really, I, I would love to explore that. Like, well, I mean, first off, obviously there's the question, is this really him or is it just a copy? You
Yeah.
know? He has the memories and feelings and emotions, so I'm like, I guess it's him. But then
Hmm.
like what's that difference? How's that friendship change between Carlos the man and now Carlos the backup?
Hmm.
I thought that's something that would be cool. I don't know. Those are
Yeah.
the kind of things that like I really wanted to um explore, like the I guess the more philosophical side of this, like the deeper questions of living in this world with robots,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
seemingly where you don't really die because you can be brought back. or a digital copy of you can be brought back,
Hmm.
which I mean, that's where we're at right now. We're complaining about an AI Val Kilmer movie. Who knows the world's gonna look like in 50 years, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
Did you see that movie? I think it's the one with Sam Rockwell that just came out.
Good luck, have fun, don't die.
Yeah, did you see
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Is that the one where they talk about the daughter who was killed in the school shooting
Yes. Yeah.
4 times?
Yeah.
That's literally the only scene I've seen. But I was watching it, I'm like, this is twisted, but this makes so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah. That little bit of the movie is like the kind of satire that the whole movie was going
Yeah.
for. But
Can you explain that scene for the audience just so they know what we're talking about?
okay, so for the audience, spoilers now for Good
Mhm.
Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Um so there's a bit in the movie where the mom of somebody the mom of a kid who was killed in a school shooter incident uh is obviously having a hard time grieving the loss of her son, and finds a weird, like essentially like Apple store that asks you the same inane questions that an Apple store does, when it's like, what are you looking for in your product? Blah blah blah. Uh, but essentially is given a like fully synthetic robotic
Hmm.
copy of her kid.
Mm.
But it is a version that is you know it like it's the nightmare scenario of like I have my kid again, I have my baby again, but it is this very like cold, unfeeling. It's,
Mm.
hey, what like they like what's something you can tell me about them? They loved baseball. Okay, that's their whole personality now. It's just
Mm.
baseball, baseball, baseball. Um,
Right.
they also because it's like a lower tier subscription, occasionally he will have to do a, product placement for some mango juice or whatever. It's like,
Oh my
Mom, we should
God.
go get mango juice. Right now it's on sale at the convenience store for not
Oh
for
my
blah blah blah. And
God.
it's like, this is terrifying. I know Black Mirror did an
Yeah.
episode like that, like I think like 2 seasons ago or something. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. And she ends up
Mm.
finding like like a wider community of people
Hmm.
who essentially have all lost their kids in school shootings and have gained them back through this service.
Yeah. So like the scene that I saw, she was talking to this husband and wife, and they were saying that they lost the same kid through 4 different school shootings because they kept
Oh,
replacing the kid.
yeah,
And they
yeah.
said at one point it gets so hard just to grieve and lose a kid again that they kind of just did one for fun.
Yeah.
So she's a little too tall. She's Muslim because they thought it would be funny. And like
Hmm.
they're really just making fun of this kid. And it's this really horrible scenario. But like I'm watching the actors and the scene is so well done because you can see that like as screwed up as they are and as screwed up as the dialogue that they're saying is and as screwed up as the scene is, you could still see the pain in them,
Yeah.
you know? And like this is the only way they know how to deal with it by humiliating this new copy of their kid. It's
Hmm.
so just like weird, heartbreaking and disgusting. Uh but yeah, I that's the kind of stuff I want to think about when like this. And my thing is like Mars Express, it kind of presents that. I think some of the best stuff is with Carlos and his family. Now, right off the bat, I'm like, great. The one Mexican in the movie, and he's from a broken family. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, how
That he
stereotypical.
seemingly broke, because he
Yeah. Oh,
was
yeah. Yeah.
violent,
Because he was the violent one. I was like, great representation, guys.
Yeah.
But I really like what they did with it. I like the twist that he was the one in the wrong and he knows it.
Hmm.
We don't see that too often these days. You
Hmm.
know, it's usually from the victim's perspective. So, and that's a whole different thing. You know how someone like that can change. That's a whole different story. But but now he's dealing with not just that, but there's a new man in his wife's life now, and he's a real man as opposed to him who's just this
Yeah.
robotic backup, you know? And I really liked that. And I thought it was so heartbreaking at the end when he goes to check up on the family. And the guy just keeps shooting him with the shotgun, you know?
Hmm.
And that was his line. He's like, I just wanted to make sure you're okay. And then he leaves. It's like, oh, dude, real Black Mirror stuff, you know? And I'm like,
Hmm.
so there were hints of it in this movie. I'm like, okay. It's
Yeah.
like, man, I fell for it. The girl's dad. I'm just like, oh man, I feel bad for this little old guy. That wasn't even the dad.
Yeah.
It was the T-1000. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, that was a brilliant way to give us a hint the way he clicked his boots. I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
dude, why didn't I see
Hmm.
that coming? Yeah.
Yeah. This definitely does harken back to stories like Blade Runner or Ghost in the Shell,
Hmm.
particularly like the movie, the Ghost in the Shell movie, the original animated one.
Yeah.
Because definitely like it presents a lot of the same themes
Hmm.
and scenarios, but it doesn't delve into any of that stuff. It's like when
Hmm.
you like we're talking about like, hey, like how human are these like doubles? Like
Hmm.
do like should they have autonomy? And they're kind of talking about that in the
Yeah.
background of this movie, especially towards the end. Um, that's something that Blade Runner tackles. The entire idea that you're presenting too about like like the horror that is like coming to terms with the idea that like you are a digital double. You're not a human. You think you're human, but you're in a robotic body. Like so how does that affect you? Like that's all like Ghost in the Shell, you
Yeah.
know? And I like that they do introduce a lot of those elements here. This is just kind of doing this is just kind of doing it different. Like those concepts aren't new
Yeah.
or exclusive to those properties that I just mentioned. Those are just the ones that like, well, they're prominent because, they are huge and they were
Hmm.
groundbreaking for their time. And so everybody's inspired by them. You know,
Yeah.
this isn't trying to like, that's kind of the interesting about this movie. And I hope this comes off as a compliment, but it is so not groundbreaking. And I don't think it's ever trying to be groundbreaking.
Hmm.
It is just presenting like, hey, we wanted to animate this really kick-ass story and have all these really cool ideas and do these cool action scenes and present these cool themes. And here it is.
Hmm.
It's like it's so weird to say this about a film, but like it feels so humble, in its presentation of all of
Yeah.
it.
It feels very like matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like like it's almost like it's trying to avoid being a spectacle. Like that's like the whole point is like this is just the way it is. This is
Yeah.
just the way life is. We're not it's not like a lot of people set out to try and be groundbreaking in their movies. Maybe some of them do, you know.
Hmm.
But like this one is deliberately trying not to be. It's
Yeah.
deliberately trying to be like, no, y- it's assuming the audience is smart enough to know like what's going on. Kind of like what we said, the movie just starts and you're in it.
Yeah.
They expect you to keep up, you know. And it fits the vibe. Like we said, it's just another day on the job
Hmm.
until it's
Until it's
not. And I
not.
think that's part of what makes the whole last act so great. Talk about huge difference from some of the movies we've been watching where like we really enjoyed until the third act. This
Yeah.
is almost the opposite. I was really enjoying it, but then the third act really hits it home. Like, man, I
Hmm.
think I think that's what kind of makes it great. Everything we didn't know it at the time, but everything was building up, and all that humbleness, all that matter of factness was kind of building up to this really extraordinary ending. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh man, that's where it felt sci-fi.
Yeah.
Most of it did it. It's just like, oh, this is just the world. It's a sci-fi world. But the
Hmm.
end, you're like, dude, this is like a sci-fi story. I love this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I dug it, man.
Yeah, I really dug it. I thought
Yeah.
it was cool. I thought I I completely forgot about the like whole like bioorganic flesh tank until it
Mm.
popped up at Roy Jacker's mansion. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh God, I forgot to be worried about that thing. And that thing is
Yeah.
sick. I
I
like it's so like it's so cool as like a scene as like a creature, but like
yeah.
the thought of like facing something like that, I'm like that feels eldritch. Like I
Yeah.
this
It's
is a
just the
horror I can
flesh.
comprehend,
Like,
but
what are
it's
you
like
fighting? Flesh. Like,
flesh.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
like
like,
God, it's like
that's where I'm
Cronenberg's
glad this was
dream.
animated. This was
Yeah,
animated, not live action. But
yeah.
dude, that I love how difficult it was to kill that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
man. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, I dug all of it. I dug all the voice actors. I think I don't know. I was just thinking this is a Anya Taylor-Joy role. I was kind of picturing her the whole time. I don't know. Maybe I'm just because I'm thinking about the new Lord of the Rings movie,
I don't
but you don't think
yeah.
so?
No, absolutely not. Like
Hmm.
I feel like the whole point of this is because like or the whole point of this is that like these are older characters. Like they've lived, they've experienced, like
You think
they're
so? Like, I wonder how
yeah,
old she
dude.
is, Eileen.
I
Like,
don't know, but not Anya Taylor-Joy old, you
how old do you
know.
think Anya Taylor-Joy is?
I don't know. I mean, she still seems pretty young, like is my
Siri,
thing.
how old is Anya Taylor-Joy?
Anya Taylor-Joy is 30 years old.
Oh, you're
See?
calling a woman in her 30s? Oh no, you're actually saying she looks young. Okay.
Yes, I'm saying
You know
yeah.
who else just turned 30 yesterday?
Ooh.
Aurora.
Oh, nice.
Good for her.
Nice. Good for
Uh,
her.
okay, all right, yeah.
For like I don't like this she doesn't necessarily feel like right for it, but I would say like somebody I would probably consider would be like Charlize Theron.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
like that's kind of who I'm imagining if we were to do this live action, you know.
I kind of, yeah.
And then Michael Pena can be Carlos because he's the only one allowed to play
Okay.
Mexicans in Hollywood right now. So
Apparently, yeah.
yeah.
Um, no, this is interesting because like the interesting about the thing about this is like the characters aren't badass. They're
Yeah,
just
exactly.
they're just people, you
Yeah.
know. Really, I don't even remember her name, but the hacker lady, she was kind of
Roberta.
Roberta. She's kind of the one who has a lot of personality. Everyone
Hmm.
else is just kind of like, hmm. It's like so I don't. Yeah, I don't know who I would pick for Aileen, but um, I would even. Ooh, man, I would even say I don't know her name, but the actress in Pluribus. I think she kind of has like that vibe, like that kind
Actually,
of
no. That,
quiet, toned
yeah.
down, like almost at times like it looks like she can simmer, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, yeah. Someone like her. I gotta find out who that is. But yeah, man, I love that. Again, I just wanted more, and I think that's a good thing. This isn't one of those things where like it has all these open questions. I'm like, well, I don't
Hmm.
get it. I need to know this. Blah blah blah. Lost had a bit of that. As happy as I was with that,
Oh,
I
for sure.
still am kind of sore that some of my questions aren't answered. But this
Yeah.
is something where like I think it's kind of it just leaves me wanting more because it was so intriguing.
Hmm.
I want to
Hmm.
know more about the robots. I like how, I don't know, I guess they're having robot sex when they're just sitting there. I was like,
Yeah, shooting lasers into their wrists.
yeah, it kind of reminded me of what was that Stallone movie? Uh,
Oh,
Demolition Man.
yeah, yeah,
Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah.
They have a scene like that with Sandra Bullock and him, and I'm like, that's wild. Um, yeah, like I don't know. I There's just little hints of it here and there, and then like with Carlos, you can honestly just give Carlos his own movie. It's set up that way anyway, you know, because
Yeah.
like I just found that so fascinating, and then I liked there was just one little scene where, that one robot's kind of hitting on him, and he's like, I've thought about it, but only with like women robots. And
Hmm.
then the robot's voice changes to
Hmm.
female. I'm like, oh, that's clever. And in the next scene, you see them in like laser locked together. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, like that's interesting.
Yeah. Which is also a fascinating thing because it's just like there's no reason for these robots to have gender at all. Like that's
Sure,
purely
that's
for
for like
us,
us, yeah.
you know?
Oh,
Like,
I like how that old couple has that one little kid looking one. It looks like Astro Boy.
oh yeah.
And I was like, huh. I was like, that's kind of cool. I would totally have a teddy bear robot, you know?
I mean, for
Like,
sure, yeah.
yeah,
It's like how,
yeah.
like, yeah, how that's very on brand for us, you know?
Ooh, but you see, this is interesting because, well, yeah, it's really interesting because there's robots and then there's like the backup synthetics. I don't really know what the difference is. Like they have robot bodies, but I guess the
Hmm.
personalities of someone who's died. Because I'm
Yeah.
thinking about the kid. Like, is that just a robot who looks like a kid? I'm like, I don't think that was a backup.
I think, yeah, yeah.
That would
I
be
hope that that's
creepy.
not a backup, you know, because that would
You
be,
see, and again, that's
you
stuff I want to
know,
know. One thing that I'll never forget, but in uh um what was that damn show? Altered Carbon,
oh, yeah.
where the parent's child is placed into the old woman's body
Hmm.
because that's all they could afford.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh my God, dude, how screwed up is that?
Yeah.
So things like that, like, oh man, I love
Hmm.
science fiction. You could just, it's like the sky's the limit. You could do anything you wanted,
Hmm.
but it's also a very interesting vehicle to do commentary on whatever whatever topic you want.
Yeah.
But it and if you're good, you can do it without being like an after school special. It's just that's what's
Yeah.
cool about sci-fi. I mean, you could do that too with fantasy, but like I think the fact of science fiction, the science is what grounds it. Like this could be our future, you know.
Yeah.
I doubt Middle Earth is in our future. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's
It's
something that
yeah.
ties into our reality a bit.
It's I think the thing about fantasy is that fantasy can speak to and help us to try and understand like our past, you know,
Mm,
even
hmm.
though technically not a lot of fantasy is uh like strictly like medieval,
Hmm.
like that the medieval aesthetic has kind of taken over popular fantasy
Hmm.
in very recent decades and even now still holds a sway, to a point where like people still say that like Game of Thrones is like medieval even though it's technically not.
Yeah, yeah,
um
yeah. That
but
just means old. That's people just think that means old. Like, oh yeah, it's
yeah.
medieval.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, like within
It's
that, it's like it helps us to understand our past, you
hmm.
know, because I think like, well, that's what we're pulling from for fantasy. It's like Martin was pulling from, European history,
Yeah.
and all these like warring families and all that stuff. And I think that's like a cool thing that fantasy can do. Even Tolkien like is taking the contemporary ideas of his time and putting it in this fantasy where
Hmm.
sure guns don't exist, but the machine of war has never
Hmm.
needed a gun. The
Right.
gun is just the latest tool of its, of its oppression. So like I think with sci-fi just does it to the extent that like, hey, what does it look like when we're still dealing with this in the future? It's like,
Hmm.
sure, we colonize the stars, like we put ourselves out there. What are we bringing out there? Are we still
Hmm.
bringing capitalism? Are we going to have a Starbucks on the moon at some point?
Hmm.
Are we still going to have the argument of these are robots, but these are sleeves that act as digital doubles for human beings, and therefore those deserve autonomy, but the actual robots don't. It's like, well,
Yeah.
what, yeah, altered carbon, that's kind of the whole thing too. It's like you can save yourself on a disk drive and stick it into another body. Well, you have a whole contingent of people who are like, okay, cool, like you're effectively dead though. You don't have a soul. You're
Mhm.
you, but there's like, so there's the whole metaphysical side of it. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know, like I forgot where I was
Altered
going with
Carbon was
this.
such an underrated. Watchers, listeners, if you are into Cyberpunk or any of like these topics that we're bringing up,
Hmm.
Altered Carbon was a 2 season show on Netflix, which
Hmm.
absolutely kills it
It
because
kicked
it
ass.
touches all of these things.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah. Last thing I want to say, I absolutely love that the reason Carlos is Carlos and he's the way he is because has insufficient memory to update.
Yeah.
So he's basically like your phone, Sam. It's
Yeah.
like, so don't worry, he's not gonna get hacked. He doesn't have the latest update. I honestly thought that's what was gonna happen at the end because you could tell like he's so unsure of what's going on. I thought that they were gonna try and download him into the ship and it wouldn't work. He's like, well, I guess I'm stayed. I'm like, oh man. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was wild. But yeah, man, wild movie. I really enjoyed it.
Me
So.
too.
Yeah. And this second movie in a row that was on both of our lists.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hmm. Man. Well, Sam,
Hmm.
do you have your list ready? It's
Oh,
my time to roll. See what we're watching next week.
okay. I got it pulled up whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm all warmed up. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. And I need to see where it is. Okay, perfect. Okay, well, completely switching genres,
Hmm.
and completely, switching out of dystopian, cyberpunk, capitalist hellscapes, and I guess jumping into our very own real sort of capitalist nightmare, but in a completely different genre.
Uh-oh.
Next week, we're talking about 2025's Materialists,
Oh, interesting.
starring Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal.
Funny because that's also on my list.
Let's go.
I think we
Three
just
times the
both
charm.
we both just have the same list, dude. Well,
Hey,
this is good because I have like
yeah,
50 movies on this list and we're flying through them at this rate.
exactly. Look, we're bound to have at least like a few that are also on each other's list. So
We're
the
up to
fact that we've
three at
had
this
three in a
point.
row, that's
Three in
pretty
a row.
wild.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
I can
Okay.
feel it. I can feel it. We're gonna do Warriors of Virtue this year. I know
Oh,
it. I can
God.
feel it. It's
Oh,
gonna
man.
happen. But yes,
It's
next
funny.
week, listeners, if you want to watch and then send us your emails, send us your comments, send us anything. The movie we will be watching and discussing next week is Materialists,
Yeah.
by I believe writer and director Celine Song. Yeah, send us an email. We have that email linked right down in the bottom of the description of anywhere you're listening to this episode.
Yep. Lost Legacies at podcast. I'm sorry. Lost Legacies podcast at gmail.com.
Very good.
So, well, Sam, that was fun. I'm glad I had it on my list. I'm glad you rolled it.
Me too.
So, yeah, we'll see, man. We've been doing some really good I don't know, like genre pieces.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean even I would even consider, Babylon like genre because it's historical but mostly like I don't even that's like what would you call that genre?
I feel like it's like historical drama, you know?
I was thinking of just like how wild it was,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. It does feel a little more satire in some ways as
Yeah.
well,
It's
you
there's not
know?
like a wild genre like
Yeah.
Caligula, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the genre is named after him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Caligula. But yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, man. This was great. This was a good one. I'm what what animations have we watched? This one, Kiki's, is that it?
I ooh,
I think
I th-
so.
I think that's it. Yeah.
I'm finding quite a bit of animation that I'm throwing onto the list, so it's gonna be interesting to see where we go
Okay.
forward from here.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think like
everyone,
counting Christmas, we also did the Snowman and Father Christmas.
oh, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, I think those are the only animated ones that we've done so far.
Okay. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us as we discuss Mars Express.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know what you think about it. Until next time, get lost.
Get lost.